organizing it as an introvert. Here's some tips for those that are more introverted or private and not as comfortable in big spaces. Hold online meetings, even chat rooms, right? Even interpersonal, even informal interpersonal chats can be huge. Provide written feedback ahead of in-person meeting. Ask the facilitator or chair to read it. If you prefer not to speak, right? It doesn't happen often in Illinois, but we have definitely had, people send in statements of support or opposition to things that we would be discussing in a meeting, whether that be because they didn't want to speak or because they weren't able to be there, right, in person at the time. You can do support work like graphic design for flyers and social media. You can do database and admin work. There's so much stuff as an introvert, right? The Green Party can keep you deduplicating lists for years without ever leaving your computer, right? We've got work if you never want to leave the computer. We've got work if you want to hit the streets, right? We're fighting a total capitalist system that is active on every front, and that's something I didn't say in the last, electoralism or movement work on the last one that I think is important. Like it or not, the present system has sequestered a whole lot of power in electoral work. So as the left, we can't just ignore it. We have to engage, even if it's not our primary focus, right? So much power in our society is tied up in electoralism. So we have to compete on that front, right? We can't just abandon it to them and abandon that power. But that was a little tangent. And then when meeting in person, meet for specific activity and not just meeting or an unstructured social time. You can do community cleanups, tree planting, sign making. Sign making is always a good one, right? It allows people to engage in a rally even if they can't attend the rally, whether that be by choice or by, conflict. Game nights, social stuff, right? And remember, you're welcome and wanted in the movement. And organizers, you need to consider how to make your organizations more inclusive, right? If someone can't show up to a meeting, that shouldn't mean they lose their voice. There needs to be a way for them to still, have a voice in the democratic processes, whether they're in person or not.
Yeah. One small thing we did in our Pittsburgh chapter is that we happen to use Slack as our internal discussion tool. So, it works kind of like a forum. And separate from the usual business meeting and all, we would have like every Friday at lunchtime, there would be the lunchtime Slack discussion. And we would invite everybody to get on Slack for, 30 minutes or so around noon and just chat about what's going on in the party or, locally or just whatever. And that gave people an opportunity to get involved and share their ideas. Even if they couldn't attend the meeting for, various reasons. And it gave an opportunity for people to leave feedback in a very inclusive way through text and all, instead of where sometimes, even just me and Chris, it's very easy when you have a meeting or especially a Zoom where you accidentally talk over each other and things like that. When you have forum threads that you can follow, you can make sure that everyone gets their comment in there and then people can kind of respond real time. And I think it was very successful to do something like that. It really helped build some bonds between people because you would see people in the chat, once a week. And then when you got together at the social and all, you had some more things to talk about. Like, oh, I liked your comment on Friday. You shared that meme that was really funny and, whatever it was. Right. So I just want to throw that out there, something that we've actually used successfully, if that's interesting to you.